and welcome to this vlog. This is all about my cello before and after repairs. I'll be featuring a few excerpts from some sonatas that are particularly interesting to me and probably can be considered to be at least in the neglected realm. And also one of Liégeois' grand duets that I feature in my Forgotten Cello Music series. For the last couple of years, my cello's been sounding worse and worse. Eventually, about 6 months ago, it started to sound pretty much not like a cello until it got so bad about a month ago that I had to do something. I took it into a shop nearby, got some work done to it, and that's what I'm going to tell you about today. If you've been following my channel, you know that I've posted a video about the things that have needed work on my cello, and I have finally gotten my cello back. I've gotten a new bridge. It's really nice. I've gotten a replacement tailpiece. It's a high quality plastic piece, which is rather surprising because you'd think that wood would be a bit better. But I've heard from many luthiers that the plastic tailpiece, if it's high quality, does a really good job of transmitting the sound, so I went with that. Now it's time for some excerpts. The first up is from Anton Rubinstein's Sonata in D major. This is from the first movement, right at the beginning. I made a recording right today, and also some weeks ago before I had the repairs done. First I'm going to play the before it was repaired, and then I'll play immediately the after, exactly the same places. Here they are. To me, it's interesting that in the recording, it seems that the sound is fairly even between the two, but just because I play it a lot, I can hear or feel the difference. The before the repair, it doesn't have quite the resonance that after the repair does. Would you agree with that? Here's a quick list of the things that I needed to have done for my cello to sound a little bit more like itself. I needed a new bridge, I needed a bow rehair, I needed a tailpiece, and I needed a new brass eyelet to go inside the frog where the screw of the button screws into. Now all those things combined are enough to make the cello sound quite a bit more resonant. And I would say that my cello almost sounds like its old self. Now there's a couple of qualities that I'm not really that happy with, and I'm not even sure I could get it all achieved on my particular budget, and given the atmosphere, given the climate that I currently live in. It's so humid and hot all the time. Even in the winter it's very humid. And the cello just changes within days of bringing it back from repair, and it won't sound like itself until I go back to the shop, if I leave it in the shop for at least a week. I'm going to plug a little bit of what I'm doing in Forgotten Cello Music. Liégeois, France in the 19th century. Liégeois wrote a bunch of interesting duets. He calls them grand duets, and I'm performing here the first and second movements, excerpts of, from the duet in A major. And I'm not comparing and contrasting the cello in this one, but rather I'm just showing off a little bit more about what the cello sounds like now. It has a much sweeter, darker tone to it, and I think it lends itself well to recording. So first of all, here's an excerpt from the first movement, first cello part, and after that I'll be playing the really interesting second cello part from the second movement, which is nothing but pizzicato. Take a listen. Now overall, I think the cello performs quite good. The A string is a bit tinny, a bit stringy sounding to me, and I think it has to do a little bit with how the bridge has been cut. The A string actually sits down in the groove rather than on top. For some reason they carved it so that the entire A string is in the groove. But listen to the pizzicato section. Go back and listen to it again. The broadness and the sweetness, it actually sounds like a real cello. I'm very pleased with especially the low end of this new setup. Coming up, here's a mashup I did of both parts together. You can see me perform it with mistakes and all. But I think it's a really great piece of music. It's very interesting, a little quirky too here and there. What forgotten cello music isn't a little bit quirky, but I think that adds to the interest and the charm. Tell me what you think in the comments. I hope I can see you again in a full video of the Liégeois duet, at least the first movement. Enjoy. So what do you think? Do you hear a big difference? I know for people that are playing something, that are intimately involved with something, we oftentimes are easily influenced by our thoughts and think that something is this way or that way, and then it turns out it's not really that way if you step back and listen to it objectively, or at least as objectively as you possibly can. A recording is a way that you can do that as long as you are willing to lay aside preconceived ideas and emotional biases and such. But it'd be interesting to know if what you all think of what I presented here. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite standard sonatas. This is something from Grieg. I think it is one of the most underrated standard sonatas out there. I hope that more people will play it. Thanks, like, and subscribe. Thank you.